Good evening, it's your girl Chammy, and today we are going to do the last playthrough of Rosa Winter, and that route would be Kuya's, as we have already done Tyranne's, Elgandir's Caretaker, and Faulkner. So, last video for this game, we're going to jump right into it. Grab your Diet Dr. Pepper, grab your full size, wait, what is this? Baby Ruth, and let's get this show on the road. Beware, evildoers, for I am Rosemary, the Night of Winter. Or should it be the Blade of Winter? Oh, maybe the Rose of Winter. Doesn't that sound impressive? You know, a symbol of hope bursting through the ice. That's good, right? I mean, it's not too completely embarrassing, is it? Oh well, I'll figure out a good knightly sounding title someday. I feel like I should have all of this memorized by now. Oh, hold up, let me slightly shift my little avatar. Oh, wrong. Wrong. Maybe I'll just cut that out, we'll see. My actual name is Rosemary, which isn't very knightish. And as for that Blade of Winter thing, well, I'm in a place where it's been snowing a lot, and, you know, to be honest, I think it just sounds cool. Cool stuff doesn't have to make sense, right? Anyway, about a year ago, I left my family's farm to fulfill my destiny and become a knight. Sounds pretty amazing, right? I thought so too. So far, though, I've just been doing odd jobs for gold wherever I can find them. I've slain the occasional beast and rescued plenty of cats from trees. It's not exactly what I expected, but at least I'm making a living. I guess that makes me more of a mercenary than a real knight. But hey, I've got a cool suit of armor and my trusty sword, so I'm almost there. I hate to admit it, but it's harder to become a knight than I thought. I'll always keep trying, though. My travels eventually brought me to this tavern at the foot of Mount Needle. You wouldn't know it from how cozy it is in here, but the mountain outside is super dangerous. Mount Needle, so named for the freezing winds that pierce your very skin, crawling with deadly beasts that hunger for human flesh. Only the bravest of the brave dare to venture here. Doesn't that sound like the perfect place for an aspiring knight to find her destiny? I'm so excited. Anyway, now that I'm here, I've got to find a job, and fast. I spent the last of my gold getting a room at this tavern. Planning ahead isn't exactly my strong suit. Luckily, the tavern has plenty of postings for mercenaries, knights, like me. It shouldn't be hard to find a job here. See, beyond Mount Needle lies Starlight City, one of the most beautiful and prosperous places in the world. People from all kingdoms gather there for important business. To get there, you can either travel by boat for days on end or take a shortcut over the deadly mountain. Most people take the long way around, but it just so happens that there are 4 princes of different kingdoms here at this tavern, now. Each of them has urgent business in Starlight City and needs to take the shortcut, however dangerous it might be. They'll need an escort to make it across, and that's where I come in. I may not be great at planning, but I've got good instincts, a huge sword, and more than enough strength to use it. I can get a prince across the mountain with my eyes closed. I think. So, let's see. The 4 princes are... First is Faulkner, Prince of the Fae. I've heard a little about him. He's supposed to be all dashing and elegant, the perfect gentleman. But the Fae people are also supposed to be really tiny. I've never met one, but that's what I hear. How he's going to handle crossing how is he going to handle crossing a treacherous mountain? Well, I guess it's my job to figure that out. Next is Prince Elgandir of the Southern Kingdom. He's pretty young, like a little kid. The job posting came from his caretaker, who is traveling with him. I don't like to judge based on looks, but doesn't he kind of seem like a scruffy drifter? Should a guy like that really be taking care of a kid? I wonder what the story is there. He didn't even post his name. Third is Tyranne, Prince of Dragons, who is... well, it's kind of scary, but he's actually a real dragon. The job posting says he's a fire dragon, so he doesn't do well in cold weather. He has to take a human form to save energy, so he's really weak and needs a lot of help getting across the mountain. Oh, well in that case, this shouldn't be too bad. And anyway, knights deal with dragons all the time, don't they? This should be a piece of cake. Finally, there's Prince Kuya of Moonforest. To be honest, I'm more scared of him than the dragon. His kingdom is really isolated, so no one really knows what his people are like. But the stories say that they're all barbaric, fierce hunters with giant claws and fangs like the wild beast. Still, if he's here asking for my help like anyone else, he can't be that bad, right? Okay, maybe there were more jobs than just these 4, but these guys just seem super interesting to me. And by interesting, I mean hot. Look, don't judge me. I've been traveling all alone for so long, and I've always dreamed of a fairy tale romance. It's not like I really expect anything to happen. I've never even had a boyfriend before. But maybe this time. Anyway, enough of this embarrassing stuff. I've got to hurry and pick a prince already. Alright, so as previously stated, we've already done Falconer, Elgandir's, Caretaker, Tyranny. So we're going for Kuya, Beast Prince of Moonforest. I finished gathering my supplies and getting ready to go. By the time I arrive in the main hall of the tavern, Prince Kuya is already there. First off, this man is about to travel a snowy mountain and he ain't got no shirt on. It's not the move. He's standing by the door looking irritated and impatient, all cooped up and bristling to move. I've never met Prince Kuya, but I'm sure that must be him. How can I tell? Well, he's really, big. He also looks beastly as hell. I mean, he's a prince of Moonforest, so I knew he was going to be larger than average. I'm not that surprised, but I guess it's one thing to hear about it and another thing to see it. The beast people of Moonforest never leave their domain, and no one else is allowed inside. It's pretty rare to actually meet one, but everyone knows the stories. Huge, wild, terrifying. Faces of men, bones of giants, hearts of wolves. When that's all you hear about a kingdom, it sticks with you. Prince Kuya, I'm doing so well, lives up to that fearsome reputation. As I draw closer to him, my heart flutters in my chest. I don't usually get nervous, but see, I'm pretty big myself. Even when I was a little girl, I was taller and wider than most kids my age. Not to brag or anything, but I work out a lot. This guy, though, he actually makes me feel small. He turns his fierce gaze down on me, and my mind goes blank. I blurt out the first thing I think of. I feel like it's gonna be, damn you big. Let's see. Oh, nope, it was the proper response. Aren't you going to be cold? What? Your armor. It's not giving you a lot of coverage, and Mount Needle can get chilly. Well, more than chilly, it's freezing, so I'm just worried you might be... That is... Excuse me? Are you surprised, sir? His deep, booming voice shakes the floor. Everyone in the tavern falls dead silent and looks at us. I know right away that I've messed up. I'm so sorry. I just blurted out whatever I was thinking. And I was looking at your chest, your armor, and I... Never mind. Please, just let me start again. Hello, Prince Kuya. It's an honor to meet you. My name is Rosemary, and... Rosemary, is this your first time meeting a son of Moonforest? Yes, sir. To be honest, I hardly know a thing about you or your people or how to address you or anything. I apologize if I've offended you. Sincerely. You know nothing. Truly nothing? Very well then. I shall educate you. Rosemary, you speak to a great hunter prince. These clothes were bestowed upon me as proof of my great skill and endless triumph. It makes me laugh to hear you question them. Haha. See, I'm laughing. I'd be offended if I thought you were clever enough to intend your words as insults, but you are clearly just ignorant of civilized ways. I knew you outsiders were weak and tiny, but I had no idea the extent of your inferiority. For your information, we hunter princes brave much harsher conditions than this pitiful mountain. The cold is nothing to us. You outsiders need to be swaddled like infants when faced with a little snow, but I assure you, I am made of stronger stuff. These clothes are sufficient, and I'll not hear another word about them. That was a whole monologue. Helmy was ready to go. But I really feel like he's gonna regret saying that. Like, if he's from Moonforest, that's probably like a nice plush forest, right? His words sting, and it's hard to ignore the people staring at us. But the first thing I said to him, the very first thing, was an insult to his clothing, which is obviously special to him. I should have known better. As such, I don't really have the right to argue. I'll just have to grin and bear it for now. Yes, Prince Kuya. And another thing, you don't call me by my name. Address me only as Your Mightiness, or don't speak to me at all. Yes, Your Mightiness. He looks away and is silent for what feels like a long time. Have I really offended him so deeply? I can't believe it. 5 minutes into this job and I'm already blowing it. Some night I am. Sorry for yelling. Never mind. Come along, Rosemary. We have a long journey ahead of us. I'd hoped for a more formidable companion, but when in the land of lowly outsiders, even a prince must make do. Haha. You don't have to worry. I promise I'm pretty strong. Maybe I'm not as tall as you, Prince Kuya, but whoops, do not make me repeat myself. I told you to address me as Your Magnificence. I feel like I want to be problematic. I feel like he wants someone to argue with him. So I'm going to be problematic and give him a hard time. He want a headache? I'm going to give him one. What? No, he said something different last time. I'm pretty sure you said I should call you Your Mightiness. Oh, did I? Look at that little blush. Look at that fanged little blush. I will say I have a soft spot for like the embarrassed, like, what's it called? I don't want to say barbaric, like wild men, like Ryoga, okay, from Ranma 1.5, Koga from Inuyasha. These two, I'm realizing, have similarities in that Rumiko Takahashi wrote them both, but the point is, that's like a niche type for me. Don't question me. I'm not. Both are correct. Yes, that's it. Aren't you smart enough to figure that out? I'm not one to lose my temper, but this is annoying. It's not my fault he can't keep track of his own stupid title. I decided to keep that thought to myself, though. It's something in his expression. It isn't that I'm too scared to defy him. It's more like, will I hurt his feelings if I keep arguing? I think he's embarrassed that I called him out. It's kind of adorable in an obnoxious way. Okay, that makes sense. I'll remember that. Your mighty magnificence. Dang, Rosemary, she already owned it. Look, he can't even say nothing about that. He said, that's right. Good, thank you. So, Rosemary, you fancy yourself strong, do you? How amusing. I don't fancy myself anything. I just, you think you'll think differently once you see the strength of a true hunter prince in action. Now, let us be off. What is this guy's deal? It's not like I claim to be stronger than him or anything. I don't really care which of us is stronger, at least not as much as he does. Oh well, he's paying me to take him across the mountain, and like Mother always said, any job that pays is a good one. This job, though, I have a bad feeling about it. I hope I'm not in over my head. After an hour of walking, we've made good progress up the mountain. The sky is clouded over, though, and the snow is already falling fast. The weather might clear up as the day goes on, but it's more likely that the things will only get worse from here. Also, I can't help but notice that Kuya is shivering in the cold. It's taking every ounce of my willpower not to comment. Do you think we should make camp early? I'm worried about the snow. Snow like this? It's nothing. Less than nothing. I am the great hunter prince Kuya. Do you know, outsider, that I once destroyed an entire forest with nothing but my bare teeth and claws? I feel like that would take a very long time. That way our enemy soldiers had no trees in which to hide, such is the raw and brutal power we hunters possess. I don't see what that has to do with anything, but there's no point in asking. He's just going to keep on talking. That's why I'm going to Starlight City. I must represent Moonforce in our yearly council with the outsider kings and queens. I have 5 older siblings, and usually my older siblings represent our kingdom, but this year I was chosen. They may be older than I am, but only I am a great hunter prince. I've actually heard stories about the great hunters of the Moonforest, although I don't remember any details. Hearing about them might be interesting, much as I hate to admit it. Not just anyone can become a hunter, you know. We are specially chosen to join the Great Hunt. Only the bravest and the strongest can handle it. My elder siblings weren't worthy, but I succeeded where they failed. The Great Hunts are sacred. Every year, in the season of dusk, we ride through the forest for 13 nights. Hunters don't stop to sleep, eat, or even rest. We focus on our quarry. We only return when we have subdued the rarest and most elusive prey, like the silver stag or the winged wolf. Riding home with our pelts around our shoulders, we are treated like kings. No, better than kings. With great feasts of golden apples and wine ever pouring, we hunters are not only the guardians of the Moon Forest, we are also its glory and its pride. That sounds great, Your Magnificence. It is the highest honor, more wonderful and wild than your puny mind could imagine. I bet you wouldn't even last an hour in the first evening of a great hunt. I'm surprised you even made a knight, although you might be considered strong by pitiful outsider standards. Actually, I'm not really a knight. I mean, like, not officially. I should have guessed. Look at you with your fluffy little mane, no claws, no fangs. Pathetic. Okay, first of all... achoo! Wow. That was a sneeze, wasn't it? I knew it. I knew you were gonna catch a cold in that outfit. What? No, that was a battle cry. Great hunters don't sneeze. We... achoo! Whatever you say, Your Magnificence. I grab my pack and pull out a small piece of bread wrapped in leaves. Here, eat this. Why? Is it some kind of trick? No, silly, it's a snack. If you eat more, your body will have more energy to keep itself warm. I know it's not much, but it might help. Though he still looks a bit suspicious, Kuya takes the bread from me and gives it a tiny nibble. I hate to admit it, but it's awfully cute. This is delicious. Look at those eyes. Homie enjoys a good sandwich. Tasty sandwich. He is about this. He might actually be in love with this sandwich. Good. Does it help? Do you feel warmer? Well, I wasn't actually cold, remember? But maybe. A little. Glad to hear it. Why are you being so nice to me? Damn. I don't really know if I want to go this far. Because I don't think he doesn't deserve it. We're going to go with because it's the right thing to do. Why wouldn't I want to help you? It's kind of my job, and besides, that's what knights are supposed to do, right? Help people in need. I wouldn't be very heroic otherwise. Well, of course we great hunters are very heroic too, so thank you, Rosemary. This delicious tiny bread snack was worthy of a mighty warrior. Wow, that's not a compliment I ever expected to hear, but you're very welcome. It's almost a nice moment. Unfortunately, it doesn't last. As soon as we start walking, he starts going on about his ventures. Again. It feels like he's been talking non-stop for hours. I know Mount Needle was bad, but I didn't think the journey would be this painful. And so everyone thought I was done for, but really I was only playing dead to fool the dire bear. At the very last moment, I roared back to life and sliced the bear's head off with just one of my claws. Everyone cheered and then thanked me for my saving the village, and they also clapped. But really, I don't do it for thanks. I do it because it is my honor as a son of the Moon Forest and a hunter prince. He grins at me, trying to gauge how much I enjoyed the story. I smile back at him, hoping it looks sincere. Now that I think about it, this might be a chance to connect with him. I have plenty of stories like that from my own travels. Maybe if we become better friends, he'll be more fun to talk to. You know, I came across a dire bear on my travels too. It sounds like mine wasn't as big as yours, but it was pretty hefty. It had been wandering around the edge of town and it was scaring one of these guys' goats, so he hired me to... Rosemary, please. Does the story have a point? I just thought you might want to hear some of my stories too. Do you really think your little errands can compare with the tales of a great prince of a moon forest? Well, it's true that the goat story wasn't that exciting. It's a you had to be there thing. But I swear, if I have to hear the words Great Prince of Moon Forest one more time, I'm going to explode. No job is worth putting up with this. Okay, calm down, Rosemary, calm down. Let's just forget about it. Do you want to take a break soon? There's a river nearby, so we can get some water and rest a bit before moving on. I could keep walking for hours, easily. But if you're tired, I suppose I could. Ugh, what is that? Huh? What's going on? Did you see a monster? I've got my sword, I'm ready to fight if... No, look, my cloak, it's got a huge stain on it. And look, one of my shoulder spikes is dented. When did that happen? We've only been walking a few hours. Geez, from the way you screamed, I thought we were in danger. I did not scream, I bellowed a mighty roar of fury. Look at this mess. I guess, but that tends to happen when you're hiking up a deadly mountain. Hasn't your cloak gotten ripped or stained on your hunts before? Mm-hmm. Caught. Well, obviously. Yes, of course, but it's only gotten stained with the blood of deadly beasts. This is mud. Totally different thing. You said there was a river nearby. Yes, let's stop there so I can wash it. Hurry. Whatever you say, your mightiness. And so, we stopped for a rest. There's a small cave nearby that we dug into to get out of the snow. I get some food out of my pack, ready to offer it to Kuya, but he's too busy worrying about his dumb cloak. Look at this, practically ruined, and I paid so much for it too. I thought you earned it from heroically slaying monsters and stuff like that. Yes, exactly, I paid for it with my heroic slayings. You outsiders are so thick-headed. Do I have to explain everything to you? I think this is salvageable. I'm going to go out to the river to see if I can clean it off. Stay right there and do not touch anything. It's a cave. Why would I be touching stuff? Kuya doesn't listen to me. He just storms off. Well, let him throw his tantrum, I guess. It's strange to see such a big, tough warrior guy get so upset over a little stain on his cloak and a scratch on his armor. Then again, I shouldn't be so quick to judge. I already upset him once by making light of what he's wearing. It's obviously really important to him. It's my own fault if I don't get it. I settle down, glad for a moment of silence and solitude. It's nice to catch my breath and not be yelled at for a little while. But a little while turns into a long while, and I start to get worried. Kuya's been gone for 20 minutes now. How long does it take to wash a stain out of a cloak anyway? What if something's happened to him? It was stupid of me to let him go out there alone. No matter how big he is, he's still a prince, and it's still my job to protect him. Maybe he got eaten by a bear. How would I explain that to the Moon Forest royal family? Sorry, I let your youngest son go out on a deadly mountain by himself for no reason at all. I tell myself to calm down and that Kuya is probably fine as I hurry out of the cave to look for him. It doesn't take me long to reach the riverside. No sign of Kuya though. Oh no, what if something really did happen to him? Your Magnificence? Are you okay? Hello? I catch sight of Kuya's cloak and armor, lying neatly folded on a smooth rock beside the river's edge. So if Kuya's clothes are here, where is he? Probably bathing naked. Rosemary. Oh, Lord. YouTube, don't censor me. I'm speechless. I knew Kuya was a big muscular guy, but suddenly I'm seeing his actual body and I'm overwhelmed. He's beautiful. I never thought I'd use that word to describe Kuya, but no other word would do him justice. I gotta say, this is not giving beautiful, it's giving beastly, but we're gonna keep it moving. I literally can't take my eyes off him. I want to memorize every detail so I can keep coming back to this image in my mind. After a moment though, the reality of the situation hits me all at once. What are you doing here? Why are you looking at me? It's not like I was trying to. You're the one who took off your clothes for no reason. Why did you do that? Isn't it obvious? I washed them and then I realized I was dirty too, so I took them off to bathe in the river. You wanted to bathe in a freezing river, completely naked, on a snow-covered mountain by yourself? What's wrong with you? You'll get frostbite and die. Don't you have any common sense at all? I told you I'm a great hunter prince and I don't feel the cold. Oh, why do I bother trying to explain myself to a lowly peasant like you? I'll do what I please and... oh Lord. Kuya slips and my heart stops beating. He's about to fall back into the freezing water. If I don't act soon, he'll be swept away by the river, and then there won't be anything I can do to help him. Time stands still. I move without thinking, closing the distance between us as fast as I can. Throwing my hands around his waist and pulling him sharply from the riverbank. The good news is that I managed to drag him to safety just in time. The bad news is, in doing so, I press him against me and I get a face full of Kuya's naked chest. We're a little too close and intimate. We're a little early for this to be happening. I stay like that for a moment, stunned. His body is so smooth and firm and surprisingly warm. I guess it's not really such bad news after all. Rosemary? Huh? What? You're touching my chest a lot. Ah, so I am. Goodness, what a situation. Let me just go ahead and stop that. I step away very carefully. I kind of wish I didn't have to. Wait, what am I thinking? This is Kuya, the biggest jerk in the world. But even jerks can have nice chests, right? Well, I've never been more embarrassed in my life. Yeah, me too. To be honest, I'm feeling a lot more than just embarrassed. Ooh, she is down bad, but I'd rather die than let him know that. I avert my eyes and he goes to put his clothes back on. There, see, I cleaned the stain out of the cloak and hammered the dent out of the spikes. After all that, I have no idea what to say. I know this is an awkward situation, but I'd rather forget it completely. But, Rosemary, do you... What's that? I couldn't hear what you said. I said, do you think it looks okay? What, your outfit? Well, yes, I went through all the trouble to get it to look nice again. What do you think? I take a step back to get a look at him. I want to answer honestly. It'd be really satisfying to tell him he looks like an idiot, but the truth is, I'm a sucker for cool-looking armor, and I love the spikes and the flowing cloak. I wonder if my armor will look good with a few spikes. But then maybe I'm giving him too much credit because my brain is clouded by hotness. That's the thing, right? I don't want to encourage him to be a jerk, but I don't want to lie to him either. Huh. Nah, I feel like he wants to feel seen. You look pretty awesome. Really? I mean, of course I do. I always look magnificent, don't I? Alright, don't push it. I was gonna say, I think your spikes are pretty neat. Maybe I could put something like that on my armor too. Yeah, and then we would match. Or we would if you weren't vastly inferior to me in every other way. Watch it. Don't forget who saved you from freezing to death just now. Thank you. What's that? Never mind. You were infuriating. Let's just keep going. And so we gather our supplies and keep walking. I'm glad we're moving again because it gives me something to think about besides Kuya without any clothes on. Oh, who am I kidding? I can't stop thinking about it. But I have to. It's Kuya. I don't care how hot he is. He's a big, mean, blowhard jerk. Okay, I care a little about how hot he is, and if he's totally awful, why do I feel so conflicted about it? I mean, why can't I just enjoy his hotness and move on? I guess it's because in a few small moments, he's shown me something different. When he's vulnerable, he's kind of nice to me, or at least I get a glimpse of something more underneath all that bluster. If he were like that more often, maybe... There's no use in wishing for something that's never going to happen. No matter how nice it is to think about, I've got to forget Kuya's hot, hot body. Although it is nice to distract myself with those memories while the real Kuya is ranting at me. And anyway, you outsiders don't even have any horns. I thought they must just be really small and under your hair, but no. No horns at all. Do you have any idea how ridiculous you look? I almost feel sorry for you. How do you strike fear into the very souls of your enemies? Are you going to be like this the whole way? Why? Are you so intimidated by my greatness? What? No. You are so full of yourself. I can't believe I thought I saw something deeper in you even for like a tiny second. At least now I know for sure that looks aren't everything. Wait, what? You saw something in me? Wow, I really don't want to get into this. Before I can say anything, the wind picks up and starts to howl. The snow thickens into heavy sheets. I can hardly see anything in front of me. There's no time to argue. I have to deal with this first, thank goodness. Your Mightiness, can you hear me? I know we've only been walking, well, again for a little while, but we need to stop and find shelter for the night. Are you so easily defeated by a little wind and cold? It's still light out and we just took a break. But if you're tired already, I'd be happy to carry you the rest of the way. For goodness sake, can you stop? If we keep going in this weather, we will both get lost, or catch our death of cold. Trust me, I've crossed mountains before. The smartest thing to do is... I've crossed mountains too. Do you really think you know better than me? Don't make me laugh. Honestly, I've had just about enough of this guy. It takes a lot to push me over the edge, but I want to get this over with and get out of the stinking cold. Prince Kuya, shut up. It's like you can't even open your stupid mouth without saying something mean to me. Wow. I feel like that's an escalation, but also he's been ranting for hours, so... You know what? He probably deserves that. And for what? All I'm trying to do is help you. You're acting like a bratty child, and I'm sick of it. Look, you hired me to be your guide across the mountain, not some servant you can push around, but you still won't take any of my advice or listen to a word I say. Why did you even hire a guide at all if you think you're so superior? You may not think so, but I actually know what I'm doing, okay? Probably more than you do. But if you're not going to listen to me, I think you should just... Oh, I should just leave you to die alone on this mountain. For real this time. There's a thick veil of snow around Kuya, blurring his features. He doesn't answer me at first, but comes closer to me, moving with strong and purposeful strides. I almost forgot how large he is. He towers over me, easily. Now that he's closer, I can see his face more clearly. He looks angrier than I have ever seen him. The sight of it shocks me into silence. If I weren't trembling with anger myself, I'd wonder if I'd gone too far. When he finally speaks, his voice has a hard edge to it, a vicious growl that seems to shake the earth, even through the layers of snow. How dare you? How dare you? You speak to me as you would a child. I am not a child. You truly believe that I need you? You, a lowly outsider, weak and pathetic like an infant? What possible use could I have for you? If you knew what I was, you'd beg to serve me. I am the great Kuya, who once tore the throat out of a wolf drake with my bare hands. I was only a baby. It was my first kill, the one that marked me for greatness, for life. I laugh to think of what your first kill must have been, if you ever even had one. It was probably the time a mouse got into the kitchen when father was making breakfast and I hit it with a frying pan. But now it doesn't seem like a great time for that story. Kuya is shouting now. He's lost all sense of what's around him, his fangs and claws bared in fury. I faced his rage head on, without flinching. Seeing him like this, with his wild mane whipped up in the wind, his muscles rippling, those sharp teeth so huge and frightening. I've been thinking of Kuya as a big blowhard, but it occurs to me, for the first time, that these stories of his might actually be true. He really does look like a barbarian prince, one who could rip the throat out of a wolf drake or level a forest with his bare claws. So, are you so pitiful that you have nothing to say in response? Well, that's to be expected, isn't it? A pathetic outsider with nothing to do or say. Why did you even bring me along if you hate me so much? Hate you? But I don't... In the next argument, I bet he thinks this is flirting. In the next instant, our argument comes to an end. We both realize there's a bigger problem in front of us. A great terrifying beast emerges from the swirling snow. A tremendous boar, covered with dense black fur as sharp and thick as nails, with a set of cruel tusks as long as my arm. A Mount Needle razorback. I remember reading about them in one of my old books. My blood turns cold at the sight of it. These beasts don't normally attack humans unprovoked, but loud sounds can trigger them in a rampage. This one must have heard Kuya and I when we were shouting at each other. The razorback saunters towards us, its tusks lowered in an attack position. I grab Kuya's arm and speak in a low whisper. Your Highness, I've read about those things and they're very dangerous. Even if we both try to fight it, we might not make it out alive. If we back away slowly, we can escape and find shelter without provoking it to charge. Rosemary, do not insult me. I am a hunter prince. I can handle this foul beast myself. Kuya's voice shakes violently, with fear or with cold, I can't tell. All I know is we'd be idiots to fight this thing, and the longer we go without running, the less chance we have of escaping. I remember reading something about it having one very odd, surprising weakness, but it was just a footnote in the book, and I can't for the life of me think of it now. Please, if you have ever listened to me, listen to me now. This isn't about how strong you are. That thing has hide like steel, and its tusks could rip through you in less than a second. Even the strongest person in the world couldn't fight it. Let me handle this. I know I can do it. Please trust me. It's not crazy to think that Kuya might be a match for this thing, but I can't shake the feeling that he's in over his head. I don't know what to do, but it's too late anyway. The razorback lurches forward to charge right at us. I'll have to make a decision now, or we'll both be dead. I think he likes it when someone is headstrong. I'm gonna leap in front of him and protect him. I don't care how strong Prince Kuya is, he hired me to protect him, and that's what I'm going to do. I leap in front of him and swing my sword out in a wild arc. My sword scratches the razorback's nose. It squeals angrily and veers off, but only for a moment. What? You hit it! You actually hit it! Just a tiny scratch. I think it was more surprise than hurt. Don't celebrate yet. The razorback charges course and comes thundering at us, angrier than ever. I don't think a simple scratch will stop it this time. I really wish I could remember that secret weak spot, but I can't, so I'll have to improvise. Hold on tight. What? I'm not sure if I can do this, but I have to try. As quick as I can, I sheath my sword and take Kuya into my arms. This man is bigger than her, and she is carrying him. Look at that face. She is putting all the effort in. He's heavy, but I can manage it. I hold on to him as tightly as I can and leap into the air an instant before the razorback hits us. Against all odds, I jump clear over the beast. I know I shouldn't care about this stuff right now, but part of me wonders if I look cool. We safely land in the snow, while the razorback searches furiously for where we disappeared to. Rosemary, that was incredible. We're not out of the woods yet, it just spotted us. The razorback comes charging again. I leap deftly aside, just barely out of the reach of those tusks. The beast keeps coming, and I keep darting away. My body moves on instinct. I think of nothing but keeping Kuya safe. The razorback and I are caught in a strange little dance. It hasn't hit me yet, but I don't have an escape plan either. I know I can't keep this up for much longer. With every leap, I get a little more tired, and Kuya feels a little more heavy in my arms. I have to end this quickly, or the razorback will end it for me. When it charges again, this time I don't leap aside right away. I stand my ground until the razorback is almost on top of me. Kuya's arms tighten around my shoulders. I can tell he's scared. But I know what I'm doing. I need to be as close as possible if I'm going to hit my target. Just before collision, I step aside only slightly so that the great boar comes, charging past me. It's so close I can feel the brush of its hair against my skin. Without wasting a breath, I jab my sword into its face, hoping against hope that I hit the right spot. I hear a great squeal of pain. I leap away, putting as much distance between us and that beast as possible. What did you do? Did you hit it? There's blood on my sword, so yeah, I guess I did. What good will that do? A little scratch won't kill it. Dummy, I'm not trying to kill it. I hit it square in the eye. It's half blind. Sure enough, the razorback is squealing angrily, rubbing its bleeding eye in the snow. For the moment, it seems to have forgotten us. Oh, that makes sense. But to have hit such a small spot on a moving target, that's impossible. I can't believe you pulled it off. Just takes practice. The razorback squeals again. What a horrible noise. It seems to have caught sight of us with its one good eye. It must be angrier than ever. Time to go. I rush off, holding tight to Kuya. Behind me, I can hear the thundering hoofbeats of the razorback, but it's losing blood now, and it can't keep track of us so easily. Eventually, the sounds die down, fading into nothing. We lost it. We're safe. I'm not sure how long I've been running. When we break out into a small silent clearing, I finally feel like we can stop. Carefully, I set Kuya down and double over to catch my breath. Rosemary, that was so cool. What? Cool? Really? Thank you for saving me. I'm sorry I didn't do much. I told you, you couldn't have done much more than I did, and it's my job to watch your back. Besides, we only barely escaped, so we'll have to be careful not to run into that thing again. An angry, half-blind razorback with a grudge is bad news. But you're very welcome, Your Magnificence. We decide to make camp in a cave nearby, since we're both pretty wiped out. For once in his life, Kuya is pretty quiet. He seems eager to help set up too. It's weird, but not unwelcome. I settle down for dinner by the fire. I have some hard bread and jerky in my pack. Kuya doesn't have anything. He must be hungry. Your Magnificence, you can have some of my food, if you want. The great hunters of Moonforest say that the only proper way to feast is to kill the strongest animal you can find and devour its flesh right then and there. If the blood is still hot, it joins with yours, and you can feel the very heart of the beast pound in your veins. I'm pretty sure that's not how eating works, but if those are his ways, who am I to argue? I shrug and settle down to eat. I can't help but notice Kuya staring at my meal, though. I can even hear his stomach grumble. Although, I suppose you outsiders consider it rude to refuse to share meals. That's why you're looking at me like that, isn't it? I'm not looking at you? If you insist, I suppose I could break tradition just this once. He grabs a piece of hard bread from my pack and devours it. He could have just said he wanted to share. Whatever you say, your mightiness. You know, Rosemary, I've been thinking. I don't think you should have to call me by those titles anymore. I mean, it's silly, isn't it? Oh, really? Why the sudden change of heart? It's not a change of heart, it's just... In Moonforest, when two hunters slay a beast together, they become brothers. That's the rule. It's not proper for one brother to consider himself superior to another. And since we slayed a beast together, you are my brother now, or sister. Anyway, we're equals. I think your definition of slaying a beast must be pretty liberal, but okay, that works for me. Shall I call you Prince Kuya now? No, just Kuya. I mean, if you don't mind. Okay, Kuya. He finishes his bread in silence, hardly even looking at me. It's not like he's ignoring me, though, more like he's suddenly shy. But why would he be so timid all of a sudden? I just can't figure this guy out. Rosemary, do you remember when you were telling me about how you had to fight a dire bear once? I'd like to hear the rest of that story, if you don't mind. Really? I mean, I guess I could, but why would you want to know that? You were right, it's not a very interesting story. I never even fought the dire bear. Please, tell me anyway. He is so cute. Look at this. Wow, so cute. Okay, let's see. There was this dire bear, but you already knew that. Anyway, it was hanging around the edge of a small village and scaring this one guy's herd of goats. But because it hadn't actually done anything, we thought it was a shame to kill it. So instead, the goat herd's wife made me this hat that made me look like I had goat horns. It was pretty silly. I went into the woods and started making these goat noises, you know, bleating, and then the dire bear followed the sound into the forest. I managed to lead it far enough away that it never bothered the goats again. But the goat herd and his wife thought it was hilarious. They laughed and laughed at me, calling me stuff like Lady Bleats a lot. But they gave me plenty of cheese to take with them when I left, so I guess they were alright. When I finished the story, I cringed a little. Definitely a you had to be there thing. But to my surprise, that is absolutely, without a doubt, the funniest story I've ever heard. Rosemary, you're incredible, a great fighter, and a marvelous storyteller. Is there anything you can't do? Laying it on a little thick there, isn't he? I'm starting to get freaked out. What's this guy's angle? I have to keep my wits about me in case he tries anything. I didn't think it was that funny, but thank you, I guess. Kuya finally stops laughing after a few minutes and wipes tears out of his eyes. Then he just stares at me, with his big puppy dog eyes for what feels like way too long. He is trying to mac on Rosemary. He said, listen, I'm gonna shoot my shot tonight. She carried me from that boar. You know, your hair is very pretty in the firelight. Okay, time to change the subject. Thanks. So, what about you? What about me? Well, you've told me plenty of stories about, like, killing monsters and great hunts and destroying enemy armies and stuff like that, but that can't be all you do, right? I mean, what's your day-to-day like? Tell me about Moonforest. It's pretty much a mystery to me. Oh, that. Well, to my surprise, he seems reluctant to talk about it. Moonforest is small. Smaller than most kingdoms, I'm told. All the families are familiar with each other, even the royal family, for better or worse. It's thick with trees and in constant twilight, even in the daytime. No one knows why. Might be some ancient magic baked into the land. So it's always dark outside? Forever? is very beautiful. I'm glad you think so. Oh, why is that? Nothing, never mind. His voice, wistful and lonely, drifts off with those words. I wait for him to continue, but he doesn't. For a moment, there's only the sound of the crackling fire. Why in the world is he acting this way? It really isn't like him. It sounds like you love it there. Parts of it are nice, yes. The trees are much larger in Moon Forest. They're purple and reach farther into the sky than you can see, fading into mist. The shadows seem to fold around them like blankets. And there's silver grass that comes up to your knees, soft as feathers and always full of fireflies. Those are the parts that I like. See, that actually sounds really beautiful. Oh, are you maybe a little homesick? What? Absolutely not. I'm not a child, you know. It's not childish to miss your home. I think about the farm a lot. I mean, I'm happy to be out here doing what I'm doing, but it's natural to miss the place you grew up in, right? I guess so, but I don't always miss the people. My siblings, they're all older than me, and I'm an adult, but I'll always be a little brother to them. Well, that's hard to believe. Nothing about you is little. I think you're the scariest looking guy I've ever met. In a good way, of course. You really mean that? Totally. And you're a legendary hunter prince anyway. If you start to get down on yourself, just remember all your awesomely heroic feats and stuff. Right, my heroic feats. Rosemary, can I ask you something? Something personal? His voice is low, soft, barely audible. I've never heard him talk like this before. Sure, kuya, anything, I guess. Do you have a boyfriend? That's not where I thought this was going. Wow. Wow. Where did that come from? Nothing, never mind, forget it, I didn't say anything. Kuya, wait, you just caught me off guard is all. No, shut up, that's enough, we're not talking about this. Kuya, are you crying a little? A great hunter prince of Moonforest does not cry, how dare you even ask me that? Who do you think you are? I'm pretty sure I saw tears in his eyes though. You're just a lowly outsider, you know nothing at all. Calm down, I didn't mean to. Enough, go to sleep, that's an order. We've got a long day ahead of us tomorrow, and I won't have you keeping me awake with any more nonsense. Good night. And with that, Kuya flops down dramatically and pulls his blanket up over his head. Within seconds, he's snoring way too loud for it to be real. To be honest, I have no idea what to think. He's obviously not going to say anything more tonight. I lie down, but I'm too surprised and bewildered to fall asleep right away. I stare at Kuya as he sleeps beside me, wondering what exactly is going on in his head. If he'd just let me answer him, I might have told him I don't have a boyfriend. I guess that means he doesn't have anyone either. In spite of myself, I can't help but think of how good he looked today. It'd be crazy to think about Kuya that way, right? Even if he wasn't so annoying, he'd still be from a totally different world. Then again, when I saw how hot he was, I'd wished he'd been nicer to me too. After we fought the Razorback, he was nicer, for a little while. Isn't that exactly what I'd been hoping for? I do, eventually, drift off to sleep. And when I wake the next morning, I feel strangely cheerful. Maybe now that we've both had time to sleep on it, he's calmed down. I roll over to ask him if he was really serious about the boyfriend thing. But his blanket lies flat on the hard earth. Kuya is gone. Maybe he got up to get breakfast or tried to do something stupid like take an ice bath again, but right away it feels wrong to me. I stand up, suddenly wide awake, and grab my sword. Outside of camp, there are signs of a struggle, and my heart grows cold. Claw marks on the trees, scuffled footprints in the snow. It looks like Kuya was dragged away. But Kuya is a huge and powerful hunter prince, right? What could possibly be strong enough to have done this to him? I know it doesn't make much sense, but my first thought is of the Razorback. That can't be. I feel like it's like his family, like he's running away from Moon Forest and there are like bounty hunters after him. How could a giant half-blind boar have found us and dragged Kuya away, all without waking me up? What else could it have been though? Is there some monster on this mountain that we don't know about? Something powerful and crafty that neither of us could have seen coming? It doesn't matter now. No matter what horrible creature did this, my job is still the same. I've got to save Kuya. I head out, not bothering to pack up our camp. Luckily, the monster and Kuya have left a pretty clear trail. and in the fresh morning light, it isn't hard to keep track. I follow the gashes in the trees and the signs of struggle. I do my best to stay positive despite the sinking feeling in my stomach. It's good that there's a trail at all, right? And no blood so far. I keep walking for about an hour without finding anything. I'm getting really worried, until suddenly, far ahead, I see a very familiar figure shrouded in morning mist. Broad shoulders, horns, flowing hair. It's Kuya. It has to be. My heart leaps. I run as fast as I can toward the figure. I'd give anything to hear Kuya's voice again, even if he was just calling me inferior again. But as I draw closer, I realize it's not Kuya. Now I'm more confused than ever. This person is still a moon forester for sure, but who is this? What's going on? Oh, hello there. You must be Rosemary, yes? You're not Kuya. No, and thank the goddess for that. You are Kuya's babysitter, are you not? I am Princess Karo. I'm terribly sorry for my little brother's appalling behavior. Little brother? That's right, Kuya has 5 older siblings, doesn't he? I'm sorry, Princess Kuro. I'm not a babysitter, I'm a knight, sort of. I was here to help guide Kuya to Starlight City, but he's gone missing. Oh, I know all about what little Kuya's been up to. Shameful, isn't it? At least you're calling him by his actual name. He didn't make you refer to him as his awesome lordship of holy greatness or anything ridiculous like that, did he? I kind of want to tell on him. Oh, for the sake of the goddess. I apologize on his behalf. He's the youngest, but you would think he would have learned good sense by now. It's alright, though I didn't really mind that much. Besides, once we slayed a beast together and became brothers, I earned the right to call him by his true name. You what? Oh dear. You poor, poor thing. Promise me you won't be embarrassed. It really isn't your fault. How could you possibly have known? Okay, I'm confused. What exactly is going on here? Where's Kuya? Is he okay? Oh, he's fine. As soon as I found out he had left for Mount Nido, I went off to bring him back. He's really not suited to a place like this. Did you say he wanted to take him to Starlight City for the council? Well, that makes sense. He's always been jealous that I get to serve on the Moon Forest representative and not him. But there's a reason he's never chosen for that task. He just isn't ready for the responsibility, and really, this little escapade proves that. Did he honestly believe the council would accept him as an ambassador of Moon Forest simply because he was the first one to get here? What a ridiculous notion. Really, he might have died if you weren't here to protect him. I must thank you for keeping our dear little Kuya safe. Wait, so is Kuya really a great hunter, or... Great hunter? Oh, that's amazing. You poor thing. He told you nothing of the truth, did he? Let me bring you up to speed. Where to even start? It must be obvious that our dear Kuya has some real delusions of grandeur. The Great Hunt and its sacred hunters, all of that is part of legend passed down amongst moon foresters for generations. It's a story for children, an exciting story, certainly, but that's all it is. The Great Hunters may be based on real historical figures, but even so, such barbaric animal slaughter, with no regard for the balance of nature, has long been a thing of the past. We moon foresters have moved far beyond that now. I suppose it's our own fault, being so secretive with our ways that outsiders don't know how we really are. I don't at all blame you for believing Kuya's tall tales of mystical ruffians. But we're a pacifist kingdom now. Our laws focus on the coexistence with the forest that is ethical as well as spiritual, with a mind for conversation. We choose to stay isolated in order to keep the forest a closed and balanced system, with no outside influences to muck things up. We've managed to bring several native moon forest species back from the brink of extinction, you know. I just stand there, letting the flood of words wash over me. I'd like to say none of this makes sense, but sadly it makes more sense than anything Kuya's told me. Karo seems to notice that I'm staring at her blankly and flashes me an apologetic smile. Oh, I do hope I haven't been prattling on. I get so excited when I think about Moon Forest's achievements. I wish outsiders knew more about us. Maybe I'll bring it up to the council this year. All in all, you should know that Kuya's behavior does not represent us. He's probably told you all kinds of stories of his violent deeds. He said he tore out the throat of a wolf drake and for his first kill when he was a baby, and that he once leveled an entire forest of trees with his bare claws. First kill. Preposterous. We haven't celebrated such things in Moon Forest for hundreds of years. And the bit about leveling trees? That's from The Tale of Moonbeam, a children's fable. Not being a moon forester, you wouldn't have heard of it, but most of us grew up with it. Kuya was always especially enthralled with childish tales of heroism. It's rather sad, actually. He's modeled himself after those fictional heroes because he wants to feel big and powerful, I suppose. He was always the runt of the family and was never given much to do around the palace. It isn't that I don't sympathize, mind you, but enough is enough, wouldn't you agree? I can't believe he was wearing that ridiculous warrior getup out here on a freezing mountain. It's bad enough when he wears it to family dinners, but at least it's only embarrassing. Here he's likely to catch a cold. How do I know you're telling the truth? It really looked like someone kidnapped him. Maybe you're just telling me all this so I stop trying to find him. Where is he now, anyway? My dear, Kuya did not want to leave your side, but I really didn't want to humor him any longer. He fought me, tooth and claw, but I was determined to release you from his burden. Of course, he isn't strong enough to stand a chance against me, so his struggling was rather pointless. If it isn't painfully clear by now, little Kuya couldn't slay a fly. Eventually, I did have to bind his wrist because he kept clawing at the poor trees trying to get away. Do you know how bad that is for the environment? He did manage to slip away and run off into the woods a moment ago, but I can't imagine he's gotten far. I was about to go looking for him, but then I ran into you. She doesn't seem worried at all that Kuya is lost on the mountain again. The only thing Karo seems to have in common with her brother is that they're both super condescending. Well, I'm going to find him. You stay here and wait. I don't need your help to bring him back safely. I don't care if you think he's ridiculous. He's my friend, and I care about him. And I want to be the one that makes sure he's okay. That's fine with me, my dear. I'm quite exhausted from hauling him around all morning, and I wouldn't mind letting you take over for now. But tell me, now that you know the truth about him, are you really all that surprised? It's adorable that you care about him, but did you ever truly believe he was the great hunter he said he was? I only asked to satisfy my curiosity, mind you. I know you're an outsider, but surely you weren't silly enough to be fooled. This one is hard. But if I say I believed him, I feel like he wants someone to believe him. He wants to fill the part. So we're gonna go with, even though it's a lie, yes, I never doubted Kuya, not even for a second. Kuya's not as weak and pathetic as you seem to think he is. Now, I never said pathetic. I wouldn't underestimate him. If you saw him fighting beasts on this mountain like I have, you'd believe he was a great hunter too. Okay, that's a lie, but I can't stand giving her the satisfaction. And it is true that Kuya surprised me out here. There were times where I really did believe in him, and that's good enough for me. Karo just gives me a perplexed look. She doesn't believe me, but she can't figure out why I would say that either. Well, let her sit there and stew in it. I turn my back on her and stride into the woods, determined to find Kuya. It doesn't take long to find him. It's not snowing, so his footsteps are left uncovered. There, leaning against a boulder with his wrists bound and his head bowed, is Kuya. I approach him carefully and place a hand gently on his shoulder. I expect him to be angry, to give me some lecture about how it's improper for a lowly outsider to lay a hand on a hunter prince. Instead, he looks up at me with tears in his eyes. He doesn't bother to try and hide them now. I guess you talked to my sister, huh? She told you everything? Yeah, she did. Is it all true? It is. All of it. I'm so sorry I lied to you. I wanted you to think I was somebody. I wanted everyone to think that, even though I'm not. I'm just the runt of the family. The one no one wanted. I read those old stories about Moon Forest in the olden days, and I thought there would be nothing better than to be a great hunter like that. But if I went on a hunt, I'd probably get killed on the first night. Good thing it's not real then, huh? Yeah. I guess I thought maybe coming out here would make me stronger. I might even slay a beast and win the respect of my people, just like the hunters of the old days. Or at least I'd sneak off to Starlight City for the council, even though they'd never let me attend. Maybe I could prove to them that I'm ready for it. But when I met you, I realized you are brave and strong, and I'm nothing like you. But because I'm bigger than you, you couldn't tell how weak I really am. You actually thought I was a tough guy. No one's ever thought I was anything but a runt, no matter how much I tried to pretend. I got so carried away. Kuya, can you believe it? I actually met a real hero, someone worthy of being a great hunter. And I acted like a mean-spirited, arrogant fool and ruined it. I'm no better than my stupid brothers and sisters. Can you ever forgive me? want to chastise him because I feel like his family is probably going to do plenty of that. We're going to go with, I've forgiven you, boo. I'm glad you're telling me the truth now, and I get it. Sometimes I call myself a knight even though I'm not yet because it makes me feel better. It's okay to want to be something more than you are. You took it a little too far. You took it a little farther with me. You took it a little farther than me, but I understand what it's like to need to puff yourself up. I'm glad I know the real you, though. I like him better. He's nicer. Rosemary, you're too good. I don't deserve to be forgiven so easily. But you know, since I saw you fight the Razorback, I've been head over heels for you. I was wondering why you were acting so different all of a sudden. And I had hoped that was the reason. Really? Goddess, how did I ever get so lucky to meet you? Believe it or not, I feel lucky to have met you too. You're very sweet, in your own way. Kara doesn't know what a good brother she has. You know, I think you should get to call yourself a real knight. I can't imagine anyone being better at it than you. Kuya looks at me with that big, cute, puppy-like smile of his. Why am I holding on to his horns like that? I just can't help it anymore. I lean in and kiss him. This is the first time I've kissed anyone, and I'm glad it's with him. And with the snow swirling around us, he's an oasis of warmth. Kuya leans into me, and I put my arms around him, drawing him close. Please, don't take me back to Karo yet, okay? I want to stay like this for as long as possible. Let's stay here forever then. I feel the hard muscles of his chest and arms, rubbing them gently with my bare hands. It's embarrassing to admit it, but I'm so glad I finally get to do this. Moonforesters must all be huge. If a guy as beefy as this could be considered weak. I don't care about that though. Kuya is perfect to me. I feel the scrape of his sharp teeth on my lips. He's being really gentle. There's something intoxicating about being so close to those huge fangs, knowing they would never hurt me. The great hunter, so strong and fierce. Well, close enough. I reach up to touch his hair and my hand brushes against one of his horns. Oh, he moans softly. I guess that must be a sensitive spot. Okay. Kuya, or it feels silly to say this out loud, but do you remember when I accidentally touched your chest? Of course I do. It's hard for me to forget. Me too. Well, I was thinking, since I got to touch yours, it's only fair that you get to touch mine. Listen, I think this is the most bold Rosemary has been out of all 4 routes, and I'm a little shook right now. I mean, if you want to. How's he gonna do that? Yeah, his hands are bound, homie. I'd love to, but I can't. Oh. Is it a Moonforester rule or something? No, it's because my wrists are tied up. Oh. Gosh, I'm so sorry. I almost completely forgot. It's okay. I like it. You know what? I'm not even surprised. He wants to be strong, but he's not, right? So he wants a strong, big woman to do the things for him. Okay. Goodness. Should I leave them tied then? Unfortunately, our time together gets cut short by an unwelcome appearance stomping through the trees to find us. Oh no. What is it? Is it Karo? Worse. Again? The Razorback with its bloody eye and deadly tusks has found us again. I take out my dagger and slice open Kuya's bindings. It would have been fun to leave them on, but that time has passed. I slide my greatsword out of its sheath. There aren't a lot of visible escape routes, but maybe I can hold this thing off long enough for Kuya to get to safety. I have to try, knowing how much he's relying on me. Rosemary, what are we going to do? It's okay, just stay behind me. What in the name of the goddess are you two doing? I've been waiting long enough. Oh. As if the situation weren't bad enough. Karo comes wandering cluelessly out to find us, but stops short when she sees the Razorback. We watch in horror as the Razorback, distracted by the sudden sound, charges at Karo. Karo! Kuya, claws bared and snarling, lunges towards the beast, but I stop him with a hand. Kuya, wait, I've got a plan. Wait, where did Karo go? Did she just get charged and, like, run off? The Razorback draws closer. His good eye glares at us with hate and fury. What's your plan? You can't fight that thing alone. Oh, so she just got trampled. Okay. I glance at Karo's still body. We need to grab her if we're going to escape. I'm not alone. You're with me. We're going to fight this thing together. I can't. You know I'm not really a great hunter. I'm just a spoiled prince. And I'm just a farm girl who picked up a sword. It doesn't matter. All you have to do is distract it. It will run to the left and grab your sister. Oh, I'll run to the left and grab your sister. We'll meet at the clearing from before, okay? Okay, I can do it. I don't want to leave Kuya behind, but I have a clear shot to Karo, and together I know we can get out of this. I risk a glance backwards and freeze. The Razorback is already charging, and its one good eye red with rage. Why isn't Kuya running? Kuya jabs straight up with his sharp claws. There's a spurt of blood and a horrific squeal. Oh, that's kind of sad. Now it's blind in both eyes. I kind of just wanted to eat, right? Like, this thing is probably gonna starve now. I don't know. I mean, if it was me, I'd do it too, but I feel kind of bad about it. It's screeching angrily, but it can't see us and can't attack. I reach Karo quickly. She's stunned, but awake. With my help, she finds her feet, and we quietly make our escape. We meet up in the clearing, breathless and full of adrenaline. Kuya's cloak is torn and stained with a dark patch of Razorback blood, but he says nothing about it at all. We walk in silence for a while. It's not until Starlight City comes into view that Karo finally speaks. I must thank you for saving my life. Although I do wish you hadn't horrifically maimed a rare species to do it. Goodness, she's demanding. Yeah, it was nothing, just part of the job, right? I'm very sorry, my dear. You did splendidly too, but I was talking to Kuya. Ooh, that's right, homie finally gets his recognition. Huh, me? But it was Rosemary's plan. If that's so, I do thank her for that, but I know what I saw, and I saw you attack the beast yourself. I never thought you were capable of such a thing. I know now, I was wrong. You are stronger than you look, dear brother. Thank you. He already looks pretty strong to me, but I hold my tongue. After a moment, Karo turns to me and smiles. You've been a wonderful influence, dear Rosemary. Your service is done. I'll take Kia with me to the council. He's earned the right to attend. Wow, really? Karo, that means so much to me. Rosemary, you're free to take your leave. Kuya's face falls, and so does mine. That's not what we wanted to hear. Oh, but I hope to spend more time with Kuya. You don't need to make yourself scarce right away. We won't be going home to Moonforest until tomorrow night. Karo, could Rosemary come with us, just for a little while? I want to show her Moonforest. That's okay, right? It's more than okay. It most certainly is not. Kuya, you know better than that. Moonforest is completely closed to outsiders, except in emergencies. Your infatuation does not count as an emergency. My heart sinks. I should have seen this coming, but I was feeling so good in the moment. Kuya isn't ready to give up. Karo, I'm just as much Moonforest royalty as you. What good is that if we can't make our own rules sometimes? I want a special exception made for Rosemary. She's coming with me. I'm terribly sorry, but the rules are in place for a reason. If you've truly matured, and it seems that you have, you'll understand why even we cannot break the rules, especially not for our own selfish whims. But Kuya needs me. I have to stay by his side. I'm his knight, his protector. Without me, what's going to happen to him? So you see, it is an emergency, right, Kuya? Yeah, that's right. I'm the worst without Rosemary. She has to come with me to Moonforest. A few days ago, I might have believed that, but now I see my brother is quite capable of holding his own. You've grown quite a bit in a short time, Kuya. You don't need anyone to protect you. I think that should be obvious to both of you. Kuya and I look at each other sadly. We both know what Karo is saying is true. Kuya doesn't really need me, no matter how much we wish he did. He's stronger now, and I'm proud of him. Proud in a way that makes my heart ache. Saying goodbye will be more painful if we drag it out. As soon as Karo and Kuya head for the council, I'll leave the city. Karo pretends to be interested in a little antique shop to give us a moment alone. Did I get the bad ending? I'll really miss you, you know. I'll miss you too. I was only just getting to know you, the real you. I blew it, didn't I? I ruined everything. We only had this short time together, and I wasted most of it acting like a jerk to you. I wish I could do it all over again. Well, it's not all bad. Because of you, I got to meet a legendary hunter prince. How many people can say that? I would have died on that mountain if it wasn't for you. But I made it, and not only that, you taught me how to be someone my sister can be proud of, even if I'm not a great hunter. You're kuya, and that's good enough. Listen, I'll work really hard to prove that I'm worthy, and then they'll choose me to go to the council next year. Will you meet me here? Just for the one day? I wouldn't miss it for the world. He smiles, and I reach over to brush his hair out of his face. It's almost painful how sweet he looks. I guess this is goodbye then. Thank you for everything, Rosemary. Goodbye, Your Magnificence. He smiles sheepishly, kisses me, and hurries over to his sister's side. Together, they disappear into the crowd. True to my word, I leave the city and move on to whatever's next. As I pass through the crowd, people stare at me as the tears run down my face. I can't help it, and at this point, I don't care. When I'm sad like this, I try to think about the future. Someday, I'll be able to go back to the farm and tell everyone back home about what happened. About how I was able to meet a hunter prince of the Moon Forest, those rare and mysterious beastmen, how we crossed Mount Needle together, defeated the Razorback, and shared our first kiss. It sounds like something out of a fairy tale. How could I ask for more? Alright, so I just got a Steam achievement that said unlock all 4 sad endings. So 100% I got the bad ending. So we're gonna let the credits roll. And then we're gonna try again. I don't know exactly why I got the bad ending. I'm trying to think about it. Maybe I need to be meaner? But then again, everyone is mean to him. Maybe I should just be like completely nice. I don't know. Let's see. Alright, kuya. Alright, I'm gonna be nice. I guess he's right. Maybe I misheard him. Yes, I think that's right. Sorry. As well you should be. Magnificence is the only appropriate term for a great hunter prince. Or should it be majesty? No, magnificence sounds more powerful. Yes, I like that. I'm trying not to be cynical, but seeing as how I'm the one who started off on the wrong foot, but it sounds like he's making this up as he goes along. Maybe those are just the ways of the Moon Forest? I kind of doubt it, but it's not like I know enough to judge. Alright. The way he smiles when I call him that is almost cute. Or at least, I might think so, if he weren't so annoying. See, he likes that I'm just letting him have it. We're definitely not going with this one, because it's the right thing to do. This fucking screenshot just sends me every time. No, you look pretty awesome. Okay, knowing that he can't do it, I'm definitely not letting him fight it. Sounds beautiful. I'm not gonna rat on him. Oh, that's a relief. He's the youngest, but really my patience only extends so far. He's an adult. It's really about time he stopped these childish games. Games? What do you mean exactly? Oh, you know, play acting, posturing. I'm sure you've had quite enough of it, having spent just one day with him. And you know, it gets all the worse when he's trying to impress a pretty lady. As if any decent woman would be halfway fooled, much less seduced, by that childish twaddle. It's like a peacock strutting around, sticking his tail feathers in the face of a hen. Ridiculous for civilized folk. I don't really understand what's going on, but I feel really embarrassed anyway. Yeah, who could possibly fall for that? Where is Kuya? Is he okay? Okay, we've seen to all that. Ooh. I kind of want to tell her off. I'm not saying Kuya was never immature, but you shouldn't write him off so quickly. It seems to me that he acts that way because you all made him feel like he has to. Like that's the only way he'll ever think he was worth anything. Kuya's not just a runt. He's brave and imaginative and sweet in his own strange way. If you just give him a little attention, you'd see that. Hey now, that's uncalled for. You have nothing. You know nothing of what it's like in our family home. For all you know, we lavish attention and love on Kuya, and he still acts like a brat. Maybe that's true, but you can't deny that Kuya acts that way because he just wants someone to believe in him for once. I don't care if Kuya is a great hunter or not. I believe in him anyway. It's only when I say this out loud that I realize I really do believe in Kuya, in spite of it all. I turn away and stride into the forest without giving Karu a chance to respond. Oh, typo. It's up to me to find Kuya and bring him back safe. Alright, we're going to say I've already forgiven you. I'm a little irked that scene was interrupted. That probably would have been my favorite scene had it not been. Okay, I got the bad ending again. Oh, jeez. Alright, we're gonna try a different tactic. I'm gonna be mean as fuck. All the things I wouldn't typically do, I'm gonna do. Okay. One Mogan. Kuya. Alright, I'm being mean. You haven't been very nice to me so far. I'm only behaving as a proud hunter should. No shame, no mercy. Yeah, okay. But mighty hunters are also supposed to be noble, so thank you for your help, Rosemary. And I'm sorry. What was that last part? Nothing. You misheard me. I just sneezed again. You sneezed, huh? I thought it was a war cry. It was a war sneeze. Extremely terrifying. Whatever you say, buddy. And you're welcome. It's almost a nice moment. Unfortunately, it doesn't last. As soon as we start walking, he starts going on about his adventures again. We're going for it. You look cool, but not nearly as cool as me. A lowly outsider cooler than a great prince of Moonforest, you certainly think highly of yourself. Hey now, One of us almost just froze to death, naked, and one of us saved the other with her incredibly quick thinking and sweet moves. Should I remind you which is which? I only slipped because you startled me. Yeah, well, I didn't slip, and I had a way bigger reason to be startled than you. I told you I was trying to take a bath, and... never mind. Thank you for saving me, Rosemary. Oh, I was only teasing. I'm just doing my job, after all. No, you were right. It was very, very cool of you. Not cooler than me, though. Alright, we'll see about that. Alright. I'm letting him do it. If Kuya thinks he doesn't need me, then so be it. I still don't intend to fight that thing, though. I take off towards the trees, running as fast as I can. This man is about to be impaled. Are you just leaving me here? Aren't you supposed to protect and guide me? I hope you followed me. You should be running too. But he doesn't have a chance. The Razorback is on him in an instant. My heart sinks. Did I make the right call? Kuya did tell me he could handle it, and to my shock, he seems to be doing okay. He has no weapons except for his claws, but he's slashing furiously at the Razorback's face, stopping it in its tracks. His roar sounds wild, feral. The sounds of it make the hair stand up on the back of my neck. He really is a great hunter, doesn't he? But it's like I said, it doesn't matter how strong you are, the Razorback is bad news. One vicious swipe of its sharp tusk, and Kuya goes flying backwards, landing hard in the snow. The Razorback advances on him slowly, ready to finish him off. I scream as loud as I can. The Razorback can't stand the loud noises. Sure enough, the beast forgets Kuya and comes charging at me instead. I have to think fast. I've put some distance between us, but the Razorback can move fast, even in heavy snow. Those tusks will be on me soon. To the left of me is a huge tree, as thick as the Razorback is large. I strike out with my sword and chop it down in one clean slice. Just as I planned, the tree comes thundering down. The huge crash startles the Razorback into stopping for a moment. Kuya is on one side of the tree, the Razorback and I on the other. Now I can be sure the Razorback will charge only me. Rosemary, what are you doing? You can't take that thing on by yourself. Wasn't that what you were trying to do? Don't worry, I'm not as dumb as you. The Razorback has gotten over its shock and is rearing to charge again. All the shouting and crashes and loud noises have whipped it into a frenzy. I really wish I could remember that secret weakness it has, but I can't. I'll just have to improvise. I have no idea of how to escape. The chances of pulling it off are slim, but I don't have any other options. The beast is thundering at me like a battering ram, and I jump as high as I can. The fallen tree is larger than the Razorback, and I don't think I've ever jumped that high before. But to my amazement, maybe because of the adrenaline rush, I managed to leap clear over it. I land gracefully next to Kuya, leaving the Razorback on the other side. Rosemary, that was an incredible jump. You're amazing. Oh, shucks. I'm surprised I was able to. There's a loud crunch behind us. The Razorback, in its fury, has charged clear through the fallen tree, sending a shower of splinters into the snow and wind. There's nothing left to do but run. Kuya's still hurt, though. Without thinking, I take him into my arms. He's heavy, but not as heavy as I expected. What are you... Sorry, I have to. Let's go. With Kuya secure in my arms, I tear through the snow. I hear crashing hoofbeats of the Razorback chasing us, but something's wrong. When I glance over my shoulder, I see that the Razorback didn't burst through that tree unscathed. A huge chunk of jagged, splintery wood is caught in its eye. It's angry enough to chase us through anything, but it's half blind and losing blood. It doesn't take long for the Razorback to slow down and lose focus. Eventually, we lose it completely. When we come to a small clearing, I can feel safe enough that I actually stop running. I set Kuya down gingerly and double over to catch my breath. Rosemary, you were really amazing. I've never seen anything like that, even in, the Great Hunt. Goodness. Thanks, but we only barely made it out of there. I hardly knew what I was doing, and if it wasn't for that lucky break with the splinter, we'd probably be skewered on those tusks right now. No, it wasn't just luck, it was you. You saved me after I dropped like a rock after just one hit. To tell you the truth, I'm ashamed. Hey now, I would have gone down pretty quick too if I'd been hit. And hey, if I was, I don't know if I'd be able to stay conscious like you did. That's hardcore. You were really holding your own there for a while. Really? You really think so? He seems a lot more excited about my praise than I expected. I mean, since when does he care what a pathetic outsider thinks? Yes, I really mean it. Alright. I kind of don't want to say the sounds terrible part. I don't think that's what hinges. I'm not ratting on him. No reason to treat him like that. I'm gonna say maybe, but you have to do better. You really shouldn't have been so mean to me, you know. I mean, haven't you had enough of your brothers and sisters treating you so badly? You should know how it feels when someone a jerk to you, just to make themselves feel big, and you shouldn't have lied to me either. Kuya doesn't argue, he just hangs his head. I can tell he knows what I'm saying is right. I know, I'm sorry, I'm such a fool. I wanted to impress you this whole time. Ever since I saw you fight the Razorback, I've been head over heels for you. Really? Yes, but I messed everything up like I always do. Hold on, you haven't messed everything up. You can still make it up to me. I can? Of course. You just have to do better next time. I know you can do it. I believe in you. And hey, I'll give you pointers if you mess up, since I'm so awesome and all. You will? Does that mean we can keep hanging out? Hanging out? Is that what we've been doing? But yes, I'd like that. Kuya looks at me with that big, cute, puppy-like smile of his. Yep. Oh, this is new. Okay. Kuya, wait. I've got a plan. But you gotta get yourself to safety. Let me handle myself, okay? Ooh. Kuya hesitates a moment, but relents. He smiles and kisses me softly before hurrying away. While I make noise to draw the Razorback's attention, Kuya sneaks through the trees towards Karo. I hope this works. The Razorback snorts and stamps at the snow. It lowers its head to charge. That's it. I sheath my sword and wait. For this to work, I have to let the Razorback get real close. Here it comes. What happened? I remembered it all at once. The Razorback's strange weakness. What is it? Did you kill it instantly by stabbing the one weak spot or something? Not even close. The Razorback, wow. The Razorback isn't a naturally aggressive animal unless you scare it or hurt it badly, like we did. Otherwise, it's pretty tame. So in order to be with Kuya, I had to have gotten the approval of his sister. The way you calm it down is by rubbing its ears, which are very sensitive and velvety soft too. Of course, the problem is figuring out how to rub its ears when it's charging and ready to rip you to shreds. I guess I got lucky. I shift my grip and rub the Razorback's ear tenderly between my thumb and forefinger. It shudders all over and lets out a hello hum of pleasure. I don't know any better. I'd say it was purring. Yeah, we're not gonna get any trouble from this cutie anymore. Isn't that funny? It seems so scary, but all it needed was a little love. Now it's a big old softie. What do you think? Should we call it Tusky? Wow, you outsiders are terrible at naming things. I find that I can lead the Razorback wherever I want by tugging gently on its ears. Karo is pretty bruised up. The fall knocked her out cold. Thankfully, though, she's not hurt too badly. Together, we lift her unconscious body onto the Razorback and head off for Starlight City. Knowing Karo is going to be okay, Kuya relaxes. He puts his arms around my waist, rests his head on my shoulder. The sun is just starting to set, and it's getting colder, but with Kuya leaning into me, I feel warm and safe. You know, Rosemary, there's an old Moonforest fable that kind of goes like this. The great hunter goes to save his lady love from a fierce dragon, but instead of killing it, he ends up taming the dragon, so together they can fly home on its back. What I'm trying to say is, if I thought you might make a good hunter before, I know it now. You might be the best of them, I think. It's a very nice thing to say, but it makes me feel more sad than anything. It's Kuya who desperately wanted to be the great hunter, not me. When I came to Mount Needle, I wanted to prove something. I'd make it to Starlight City all by myself, maybe even slay some ferocious beasts along the way. I was tired of everyone thinking of me as a weakling. For some stupid reason, I thought this adventure could fix that. But when I met you, I realized something. There's no shame in being weaker than someone like you, Rosemary. Someone you like? Hold up. There's no shame in being weaker than someone like you. What I'm saying is, I don't mind being protected if you're the one protecting me. That's when I realized I don't want to say goodbye once this job is over. I want to stay by his side. I want to be his champion. It's been a strange and surprising journey, but against all odds, Prince Kuya has become precious to me. I lean in to kiss him, his arms tighten around my waist. Rosemary, I'm royalty. I have the power to dub you a knight. From now on, will you be my knight? It would be my honor, Prince Kuya. Shortly before we arrive to Starlight City, I send the Razorback off into the woods. I'll miss that big old cutie pie. Kara wakes up shortly after. She's upbeat and energetic, if a bit sore. Soon we're in the city, which is just as beautiful and overwhelming as I imagined it would be. Dearest Rosemary, I must thank you. You risked life and limb to save both of us. It's safe to say you've gone above and beyond what Kuya hired you to do. And once again, I can't apologize enough for my brother's behavior. Please don't cast all Moon Foresters in with his lot. It's okay. I was happy to help you both. And Kuya already apologized to me, so, it's all good. Kuya and I smile at each other and blush. Kara notices this and sighs heavily. Well, if this outstanding woman can find it in her heart to forgive you, Kuya, I suppose I can too. You've made it this far. Would you like to join me at the council this year? As long as you're seen and not heard, of course. I don't know. I'm not sure what I want anymore. I think right now I'd just like to go home. I wouldn't mind showing Rosemary around Moon Forest too. I mean, if you want to. Oh yeah, that'd be amazing. I'm sure it would be wonderful, but it's also quite impossible. Kuya, don't put any more foolish idea into this poor girl's head. You know as well as I do that outsiders are not allowed to visit Moon Forest except in emergency circumstances. You being love-struck is hardly an emergency circumstance. What? But I'm a prince. That means I get to make the rules, right? I want Rosemary to come with me. You are a prince who is on thin ice, and you know it. Don't push your luck. An outsider visit is out of the question, and that's absolutely final. So, this is goodbye then? I hadn't been thinking about our future, but I guess I should have seen this coming. Moon Forest is completely isolated and secretive, after all. There's no way they would just have let me come waltzing in for no reason. If Rosemary can't come home with me, then I'm not coming home. What? What? Karo, you know that I'm not happy at home. No one at home is happy with me either. Maybe the palace just isn't the right place for me. Rosemary travels all over the land, going on adventures and learning things. That's what I want to do too. I know I'm not a great hunter. I never will be. But maybe I could at least try something new and learn something, maybe? I can't do that at home. And it'd be worth it just to be with Rosemary. Besides, you know I'll be safe with her. You've seen how amazing she is. I know I'm weak, but I'll be okay as long as I'm with her. You can trust Rosemary with my life. I promise. Right? He looks at me with that big, hopeful smile. I smile back, but I'm trying not to get my hopes up. It all sounds too good to be true. To my surprise, Kara smiles at us too. You're more mature than I thought, Kuya. Rosemary, would you swear it on your honor to keep my brother safe in your travels, and perhaps let him come visit home once in a while? My heart leaps, and for a moment I'm too excited to know what to say. Yes, of course. I'm sworn to protect Kuya on my honor as a knight. Very well then. Take good care of him. Kuya, you might find it hard to believe, but I will miss you. I'll miss you too, Karo. We say our goodbyes, and Karo leaves to attend the council alone. Now it's just me and Kuya, alone together, free to make our future. It's just you and me now. What should we do first? It's funny to hear you ask my advice, for once. Sorry, how's this? Lowly outsider, tell me what we should do now. Please. Well, there's a lot we could do. I was thinking of traveling to the Western Islands next. Of course, before we go, I'd like to give you some sword fighting lessons. That sounds great and all. It does. But I was thinking that maybe we could, take a break first. That sounds perfect. Oh. I take his hand in mine, and together we walk through the city, ready for our next adventure. Okay. That was the happy ending. Perfect! Elgandir's caretaker is still my favorite. But I think Kuya is incredibly cute. Sad that he has to leave home, but I guess we all have to at some point. And he's gonna learn, you know, through exposure or whatever, how to hold his own at the very least. So I think it's a win-win. And the boar was not blinded and left to starve to death, which is also a plus. So, very cute, very enjoyable. And that was all 4 routes of Rose of Winter. I think I'm gonna try Ni no Kuni 2 next. So keep an eye out for that. In the meantime, I hope you enjoyed, and have a good night.